Recognizing the member from Chilliwack.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'd like to thank the member from Peace River South for bringing this forward. Peace River North, sorry. I'm very sorry. Peace River North and South are sitting beside each other today, so I was somewhat confused. But I'd like to thank the member I'd like to thank the member for bringing this forward, because I really appreciate his passion for people with disabilities. You know, poverty is something that impacts the lives of too many British Columbians, and there's no doubt it's more acutely felt by folks living with disabilities. I'm grateful to be in a province where the government has supported people through this pandemic. The government in April 2020 instituted a temporary $300 per month COVID-19 crisis supplement to disability assistant rates. It was in place from April to June 2020, then extended for July and August 2020, then extended again for September through December 2020, then replaced by a $150 per month supplement for January to March 2021, and that also included a $500 recovery benefit. The government wanted to provide predictability and stability for those who receive disability assistance. So the government instituted the largest permanent rate increase ever, $175 per month, and the third increase since we first formed government in July 2017. People receiving disability assistance will be receiving $325 per month more in assistance than they did in March 2017. Prior to the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, people receiving disability assistance had all federal employment insurance benefits treated as income. The Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction exempted EI payments as income beginning in April 2020. This temporary measure reflected the broad economic impacts of the pandemic and complemented federal emergency support programs being introduced, such as the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. Exempting employment insurance and federal COVID supports from disability assistance rates was an emergency measure brought in at the beginning of the pandemic. And I'm so proud that the BC government was the only provincial government to exempt employment insurance. More targeted supports are now in place from the federal government, and BC has exempted those new supports as well. Those are the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit and the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit. BC continues to exempt income for people living with disabilities who get those targeted federal supports. Mr. Speaker, the government is also working on Madam Speaker, the government is also working on an inclusive recovery to COVID, in part with a program called the Work Experience Opportunities Grant. The Work Experience Opportunities Grant helps vulnerable British Columbians who receive income or disability assistance and have barriers to employment to gain new skills and participate in paid work experience opportunities. The grant supports a sustainable, resilient, and inclusive labour market recovery by providing opportunities for people living with disabilities to participate in the labour market. Grants are available to nonprofit organizations and federally registered charities to provide a meaningful work experience opportunity to eligible participants throughout the province. The grants are $5,000 per participant, and each nonprofit or charity can apply for up to 10 folks, totaling $50,000. Also, Madam Speaker, continuing the theme of making sure that our recovery is an inclusive one, government has provided a workplace accessibility grant through Small Business BC. Small businesses can now apply for a grant to make their businesses more accessible. I spoke in my throne speech on Wednesday, Madam Speaker, about a local business in my constituency called the Bookman, which has taken advantage of this grant. Government isn't just focused on folks during the pandemic, but we've been working on making life better for folks living with disabilities since we took government, and we will continue to do so well after the pandemic is over. Thank you, Madam Speaker.